Sleep, exercise, nutrition are key, but time is limited. So how do you perform maximally under pressure? We need to understand how to fuel our body. We're in a state of constant stress. How do you keep your peak performance? How can you apply this in your life?
The story of former U.S. Army Dr. Sudip Bose.
Dr. Sudip Bose.
Dr. Sudip Bose.
Finally, Dr. Sudip Bose.
And read about Dr. Sudip Bose's story in today's edition of the Daily Herald.
In January 2004, Dr. Sudip Bose, a captain in the U.S. Army, found himself on the front lines of a war zone in Iraq to serve with his fellow soldiers in Operation Iraqi Freedom. By the time of his return in February 2005, Chicago native Sudip Bose had served one of the longest frontline tours by a doctor since World War II. After the U.S. capture of Saddam Hussein, Dr. Bose was called upon to provide medical care for the deposed dictator.
This guy treated Saddam Hussein?
He was in the thick of battles in Baghdad and Najaf, and was one of the sole physicians providing care in the streets of Fallujah during the U.S. seizure of the city.
Soldiers, we are at war. We need to get a good perspective on the enemy. Enemy number one goes by the name of trans fats, bad diets, aka South Beach, Atkins, refined carbs. Actually, if you eat enough of him, you end up looking like him. Well, I'm an emergency room physician, and I served on the front lines of Iraq.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that. God bless you. Thank you.
You know, a lot of times we could see our enemy, but all of us here are fighting enemies that we can't see. And these are millions and millions of bacteria and viruses that are at risk of invading our body and causing us to become sick every day. And most of us here can't afford to get sick. Drinking grape juice made of Concord grapes, which is a type of grape, actually increases the number of T cells in your body.
I did not know that.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of us are busy. We're busy in our jobs. You know, we're successful. And with that comes certain health elements, correct?
Yeah. If we're not taking care of our spiritual bodies, if we're not taking care of our physical bodies, if we're not taking care of our mental state, then we're just going to crash and burn and we're no good to anybody.
Your immune system takes a hit. And when you're not sleeping and eating right, that can lead to...
Well, these lingering colds that we tend to get sometimes, right?
Because if we run out of energy, we run out of our soldiers who are complex carbs, and we run out of our soldiers who are simple carbs, we're going to start breaking down protein for energy. That's not good. We're breaking down our walls.
And I got to tell you, one of my favorite speakers out there is Sudip Bose. There's a unique quality about Dr. Bose. He can take whatever your topic is, and he can, make his talk fit your topic.
Our brain cannot use protein. Our brain cannot use fat. Our brain can only use glucose, simple carbohydrates. If you don't have it, you see the patient that I see in the emergency room who comes in a coma.
Welcome back with your Eye on Health. It's Wednesday, which means Dr. Bose is in today on the front page to answer all of your health questions.
Eating healthy starts young. Whatever patterns we form, habits we form in youth, they stick through adulthood. So think of it as energy and think of doing the right level of carbs and the right amount of carbs. I cannot have you guys forget this. You'll never forget this, because I knew being the third grade breakdance champion would one day pay off in my lifetime, okay? Saturated, solid in the coronary arteries. Unsaturated, liquid. Nuts, avocados, okay? Liquid. You're not gonna forget this now, right?
Welcome back to the front page. We've all been there. We told ourselves we would never drink again the night after partying a little too much. And this time of year, I'm sure, Doc, there's a lot of that going on. Joining us now is Dr. Bose, Medical Center Hospital. Doc, we're talking about hangovers here because this is a topic a lot of people can benefit from.
But alcohol is a net dehydrator. And when you're urinating, what else are you losing? You're losing salts, you're losing potassium, things like that.
Stuff you need.
And that's what's making you feel miserable. The one thing that's interesting is the liver, which processes the alcohol, thinks of the alcohol as fat. So we think of alcohol as sugars, but the liver treats it like fat, no matter where the alcohol is from. So that's why you're gaining weight. So you get an idea. We need to fight our enemy. We need to find our enemy and stare him face to face and overcome. And part of doing that is understanding how to read a nutrition label. And they always put the sexy stuff on the front of the package. Real fruit, whole grains, cholesterol free. But you can't fall for the front of the package. You have to flip it over. So what I'd say is when you look at the front, there'll always be some sort of whatever's the hottest fad on the front, the hottest topic, it'll say fat-free, cholesterol-free. But what you need to do is flip it over like we see here and actually look at the back, because we need to know more other than just a simple sentence of fat-free, cholesterol-free, because there's a lot more to it.
Right.
With enough practice, just like anything else, if you study it, you can overcome it, and you can conquer it, and you can master it, okay? And that's what we're going to do with nutrition labels. You can write fat-free on a label if it has less than 0.5 grams of fat. So what they do is they just decrease the portion size. So the first thing I'd look at when you flip it over is the portion size. Portion control, watching those hidden calories. But the other thing I'm going to remind you guys is that the stomach is a volume detector. So it doesn't detect what you're putting in, it detects the volume. And once that stomach gets filled, it senses it's full, sends a signal to the brain, and that's what makes you feel full. You don't want too much porridge, you don't want too little porridge, you just want the right amount of porridge. So everything in moderation.
And wow, he's incredible. The way that he was able to engage with the audience and bring his real world experiences to the room was outstanding.
Follow the 80-20 rule. So you want to do 80-20, where 80% of the time you're focusing on healthy, and 20% eat what you want to eat. Nobody can be 100-0.
The other thing he does is he takes information and really simplifies it down so that the audience can really understand it and take away something from his talk.
Your breakfast cereal may have more salt in it than the potato chips because it's all masked with sugar. So don't let your taste buds fool you. It's not always about what you see on the front of the package.
He really makes these points simple to the point and really gives you something to take home with.
Increase your basic metabolic rate. But we're going to out-eat our exercise, every single one of us. One muffin, I mean, unless you're running 30 miles a day and barely eating, but we're going to all out-eat our exercise. But luckily, we burn calories in other ways. We burn calories doing all these things, just to keep our heart beating, digestion, respiration, blood pressure, all these things. This is about up to 75% of our calories burned. We're burning calories just sitting here right now. We're burning calories when we sleep at night, and that's 75% of our calories. So, let's get the biggest bang for the buck. Let's increase our BMR.
Hi, I'm Tatum Gwynn with CBS 7 News, and I work with Dr. Bose on a regular basis. And his nutrition facts and, healthy living has helped me put away some of the junk food that I love so much and picked up healthier eating habits. And it's been very helpful to my life personally.
So basic metabolic rate is directly proportional to muscle mass. As a physician, I would say weightlifting is the closest thing we probably have to the fountain of youth right now. It has so many benefits, but internally those muscle fibers that are getting stronger are helping your BMR. So you're not doing it for the calories you're burning while you're exercising. You're not doing it, to get pumped. You're doing it so you can increase your BMR.
He gives you so much more than you expected to get when you walk into that room. You walk out knowing a sense of purpose with a sense of direction for what you need to do.
And start lifting weights. It's going to make a difference. It makes a difference when you're sitting, when you're lying, when you're sleeping. You're going to burn more calories then. Eat a big breakfast. It gets your BMR kicking right in the beginning of the day. Eat like a king at breakfast, like a prince at lunch, and like a pauper at dinner.
Yeah, I'll tell you, as a speaker trainer and a promoter, Sudip Bose is one of the easiest people that I've ever had to work with. He will show up in give mode. He's there to give value to your audience.
Your goal is to do something every day. Do something every day. Don't let a day go by. And even if all you get is 10 of these or 15 of these, in 30 days, after a month, at least for 30 days, you've done something every day. And it's going to make a difference.
That layered approach, it's profound. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
You need to keep your inner army strong. And you need to stay healthy. These decisions lead to habits. And habits lead to character. I'm Dr. Sudip Bose. Thank you for your attention. Keep your inner army strong.